Hello everyone, and welcome to Autocrat. This is episode 95, Thunderbolts and Lightning. Now this is about to get very, very frightening, especially to me.
But how's Galileo involved?
Who knows? Guess we'll find out.
But this episode really will be Magnifico oh.
Right. Cool.
It's Bohemian Rhapsody, in case you didn't get it.
Now that we've got the references and dubious references out.
Now that we've alienated our entire audience.
Let's get into Ovid book 14.
Yes.
XIV, that's 14.
Why are you so determined to show off that you understand Roman numerals?
Because it's important.
Okay.
We left off with Tiberinus drowning in the river Albula, or the river Tiber, possibly in battle.
Yes, and you developing what I'm going to call Tiberophobia, a fear of the Tiber.
Yeah. Ovid picks up with Remulus and his brother Acrota, who is apparently a soldier.
Yeah. Ovid's Fasti also calls this son Remulus, I think. It's been a while since I wrote these notes, but the point is, the names are a bit all over the place.
Now, Remulus has a very cool death, if what I'm reading is true.
Oh, yes.
He was hit by lightning.
Yeah. And according to Ovid, he was trying to, quote, imitate lightning, unquote.
Maybe he was trying to call it to him, but...
I have no idea what Ovid is referring to. I can piece it together based on our other sources, but that sounds insane by itself.
It does.
But don't worry, we will have context.
Good.
However, what we do know is that Ovid does not rate this Acrota guy as highly as we thought he did, because straight after saying that Acrota is a fighter, he says that he is not as, quote, daring, unquote, as Remulus. Ovid then immediately skips to saying that he passed on power to Aventinus.
Okay. Cassius Dio, our good friend.
Yep.
He sees us.
Ah! No! I shouldn't have brought your attention to typos last episode.
Alright.
Ah.
It's okay. You get a pass. A pass.
Thank you.
Dio says that Tiberinus had a descendant called Amulius. But we don't know if this Amulius ruled or not, we just know that he's a descendant.
Yeah. I mean, if he did, then he would be Amulius the First.
Would he? Do we know if there's a second?
Just throwing that in there for later.
Okay. Well, either way, Amulius is the father of Aventinus.
Alright. And that's Dio done.
That is Dio done. You're gonna talk us through to our favorite source, which is...
Titus Livius.
Titus Livius.
Now, instead of Remulus, Livy has Agrippa,
Of course he does.
as we mentioned last episode.
Of course he does.
However, given that the two names are in some sources given as alternatives, it may be the same person.
Because it sounds so much like the same thing.
Agrippa then has a son called Romulus.
Oh!
Not that Romulus.
Oh.
Because he dies to a lightning strike.
Okay.
He then passes on the throne to Aventinus, and his relation to Aventinus is not stated. Maybe this means that Amulius is the son of Tiberinus, and this Aventinus is the nephew of whoever dies in this lightning. We'll sort it all out at the end of the episode.
I'm sure we won't.
Well, maybe Diodorus can rescue us, huh?
Maybe. What does he say?
He says that Agrippa takes power after Tiberinus for 41 years.
Okay, not bad.
I didn't make you play the guessing game this time.
No, especially since I can read.
Aramulius Silvius then rules for 19 years before getting struck by lightning.
Yeah, it's very much a very lightning-focused episode.
It really is. The story is that he acted haughty throughout his life and was disrespectful to the god Jupiter. As we've seen from the Iliad and many other sources, disrespecting the gods works so well.
Especially just Jupiter, or, Zeus for the non-initiated.
You know who the worst one probably is, though? Venus/Aphrodite.
Oof.
I think that's the one that we'd established just never works, even compared with other gods and goddesses. Do you want a story of his disrespect?
Yeah.
Whenever there was lightning during the harvest season, he would get his armies to hit their swords against their shields and make a great noise. So I'm guessing that's what the imitating lightning from Ovid is all about.
Probably.
Which I still stand by the fact that without context, Ovid, that doesn't make any sense. In this way, Remulus claims that his noise was better than the thunder of Jupiter.
Ooh, that's not going to be... Jupiter's not going to like that.
No, well, apparently it's not as good at killing people, Remulus, because he died from lightning. His house then sunk into the Alban lake. Again, what's with everything being called Alba? Apparently, even in the time Diodorus was alive, there were Romans who pointed to columns in the water, deep down in the lake, as evidence of the sinking of the king's palace.
That's pretty cool.
So according to Diodorus himself and what he believed, this is definitely true because there's evidence of it. Now, Dionysius of Halicarnassus and his Roman antiquities.
Yeah. He tells us that Agrippa reigned for 41 years. Aloysius then ruled for 19 years. He was supposedly a tyrant and the gods hated him. Dionysius also mentions the soldier make lightning-like noises, but apparently he wanted to frighten the populace like he was divine.
Ooh, we get to play that divine jingle here, I guess.
Yeah.
Could it be he's divine, or is this all a waste of time?
A great storm of rain and lightning then rose up. The lake on which his palace stood rose up very high.
Ooh, tsunami.
He and everyone in his household died. When the water of the lake is very transparent, you can see runes in the depth.
Ooh, so Dionysus also thinks this is definitely true.
Yeah, clearly.
Interesting.
Then Aventinus follows, and, we won't go into details on him, but Dionysus tells us that Aventinus was named after one of the 7 hills of the future
And then the text breaks off. We can see the R, but it's all very faded.
Yeah.
There are some people who are going to be taking notes thinking, is that true? Does the text break off? No. Or maybe. You don't know.
Yeah, read it.
But we're not going to deal with that. We're going to move on to the Origo.
Yep.
The Origo says that Remulus reigned after Tiberinus, not giving any relationship between the two. Remulus declared he was better than Jupiter and was an arrogant man. He heard the thunder rumble and ordered his soldiers to hit their spears and shields together to make a louder sound. So he was hit by lightning. A storm took him up and dragged him to Lake Albanus, presumably drowning. The Origo cites a lot of sources we've now lost to say that the alternative telling is that his palace fell with him inside into the lake because of an earthquake. I think that was meant to say earthquake. I broke off after the letter E.
Yeah, because of an E.
The
letter E is very dangerous.
Yeah, it's almost as dangerous as the River Tiber. I think that's meant to say earthquake. If not, I will correct it in the show notes.
He spelled that wrong. He spelled that wrong.
Anyway, Appian. Appian lists Agrippa as the son of Tiberinus. He was then the father of Romulus, who was killed by lightning, and left a son called Aventinus.
Sure, why not?
And our favourite source Appian breaks off there. Again, thank you Appian, you are so detailed and helpful. Well, on to the Nuremberg Chronicle. Agrippa, son of Tiberinus, is given a rule of 40 years here, so close enough to our previously cited figure of 41. He's apparently also known as Remulus, according to footnotes. Remulus supposedly founds Alba again in the 7 hills of what will become... Nope, lost it. It seems bizarre to me, but hey, maybe it means they create a colony or something. But clearly, given future history, if they do, it doesn't last that long, because a Foundation event happens again.
Alright.
Again, mild spoilers for episode 100. There's a city that exists. Remulus is given a reign of 19 years as before, and his 2 sons were apparently Julius and Aventinus.
That's a new one.
Yeah. I can only assume something happens to Julius, given that he's mentioned first and is probably the eldest, but that is the last time I'm ever going to bring him up.
Alright.
So, we've got Agrippa for about 40 years, is what I'm saying. We then get Remulus for 19 years and Acrota for 1 year, until Aventinus, nephew of Acrota, takes over. That's the general picture I was getting from our sources.
Okay, sure. So what have you come up with as a timeline?
Let's say Agrippa rules between 916 and 876 BCE, so 40 years. Remulus then gets struck by lightning in 857 BCE, or else his palace gets drowned. I'm going to say both of those happened simultaneously.
Cool.
I mean, the lightning would be worse because of all the water. Acrota then picks up the slack between 857 and 856 before Aventinus takes over. Who knows, maybe Acrota drowns in the palace. I'm guessing, though, he's not that good of a king, given that he's listed as a soldier before and then is called a bit of a coward, so maybe after that lightning storm he just sat quietly for a year.
I mean, with a name like that, just go away, dude.
You're not impressed with Acrota?
No.
Alright, well, he's dead, so
Cool.
you don't have to deal with him again.
Yeah.
And, like we said, next time we'll get on to Aventinus.
For an adventure.
Is that an Aventinus pun?
Yes.
For an adventure.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, we hope you join us on Aventinus and Alba's excellent adventure. The references are getting so bad this episode. So we'll sign off to avoid any more. Thank you all for listening, and have a great week, everyone.
Avanti, great week.
Ah, play the outro music. You're having fun with that.
You can leave my laughter throughout the outro if you want.
Yeah, definitely.